till I reach the top somehow. So wherever my mind goes, up somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. That I will achieve, because I do the things I should, between my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. That I will achieve, because I do the things I should, between my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. somehow. So wherever my mind
Yes, my straight talk family, we're going to keep moving on now. And yes, the devil is a liar. Believe me, if the devil is telling you that I won't be here tonight, I am here tonight. And I will apologize for my tardy start, my straight dog family, and to bid you in the process very pleasant night wherever you may be on this planet called Earth. And welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. Yes, a tardy start for which I humbly apologize, my Straight Talk family, and due to circumstances entirely beyond my control. But we are going to get over all things in this country because we know it's not easy times. The times are not easy, but we are going to put our faith and trust in Almighty. He's the one who sets up and he's the one who puts down, believe it or not. And I want to say a very pleasant night to St. Kitts and Nevis. I want to say a pleasant night to the entire Eastern Caribbean and to all who share the link and all who were really concerned of what's going on with me. I am well, I'm feeling well, I'm at peace. I am peaceful, as I normally say. I'm at peace with my God, I'm at peace with myself, and I'm at peace with the world. So let me say to the first timers, and I thank you again for sharing the link. Let me say to the first timers that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves or ourselves freely. On this program, we also try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Talk family, on yet another occasion. I am admitted to hail my Kittitians and Divisions and all my Straight Talk family, rather, because they are not all Kittitians and Divisions. They are my Straight Talk family from all over the world, and we are at liberty to say good night. We are at liberty to say good morning, and we are also at liberty to say good afternoon, because some of you are in Africa, some of you are in Asia, some of you are in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. We had a tardy start tonight, so we won't really talk too much, but we'll get right down to the issues. Except, I must say, I continue to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I always am reminded of the hymn, the words from a favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. And it goes something like this. My Straight Talk family, we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, and bringing evil things to light. Let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we may all know that the blessing of doing of God's will. We may all know the blessing of the doing of God's will. And my Straight Talk family, I again can assure you that nothing is watered down on this program to make it more interesting, neither by omission or by exaggeration. We are not about sensationalism, not at all. We're not about creating excitement. We just simply lean on the facts, the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, nothing about the truth. And we do have issues. Yes, we do have issues about governance in St. Kitts and Nevis. So yes, we are joined together all across the Federation. We're joined with the people in the diaspora all around the world. And we say welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. I always like to hail of course, I cannot forget to hail my junior brigade. Else I'll be in trouble, because they meet me on the street and say, Patches, I listened to you last night, or see you this time. And they really understand some of the issues we're talking, as young as they are. This young Travis in particular, haven't seen his brother for a while, but Travis was asking me the other day, what was your thesis for tonight? And, it took me by surprise, I had to explain to him the title of my thesis, and he understood, believe it or not. And I think he's just about 7 or 8 years. So that's speaks well for our future. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin Hanley, Rue Costo. Can't forget Rue in South Carolina. I'll never forget. Otherwise, my program would be taken off the air. Rue in South Carolina, hope you're making your mommy and your granny proud with those marks in school. And Jamal of Anguilla as well. And I can't forget the special lady in St. Louis. And my Straight Talk family, we do have a thesis for tonight. Our thesis for tonight, I have titled A Series of Failures Under July, Reasons and Results. And let me also remind you, my Straight Talk family, that we are streaming. We are streaming on Alexa. It's a paid program. You have a paid program via Alexa, a massive Vibes Radio. So all you have to do, if you have that app, is just say, Alexa, ask for skill. And Alexa would ask you, and you just say Massive Vibes Radio. I always get confused when I'm doing this. I'm doing so many things one time. But my Straight Talk family, we have access, as I said. For those of you who have Alexa at home, just say Alexa enabled skill. Alexa will ask which skill, and you just say Massive Vibes Radio. And there's a link I should have sent. I sent it in the chat. I hope you would have found it as well. You see that link in the chat. Just click that link and you're gone straight to Alexa, and you'll hear Straight Talk as well. But our observations in review tonight are very few. I have to remind us as well that this constant travel of ministers continues unabated, despite the public criticism. All these ministers of government, I believe, have spent more time off the island. No wonder they are so disconnected with the people. I saw a post about VAT Day on April the 12th. I wanted to put it on your screen tonight, and that's one of the things that kept me back, and I apologize for that. I like to bring you the evidence, but VAT Day is April the 12th, and on this day, what we are seeing, according to that post that I did not get it up on my screen, and imagine VAT Day, a discounted VAT Day for April the 12th. And the items eligible, as it says, must be available for sale and immediate issuance of delivery to the customer on discounted VAT rate days. And these items do not include, do not qualify. Even if you have vehicles in stock, do not qualify. Do not include vehicles. Guns, it sounds like guns are available. Then guns, it's guns, ammunition, cigarettes, and alcoholic beverages are not eligible. I'm apologize for not being able to post that on your screen, my Straight Dog family. But VAT Day, who's going to benefit from VAT Day? There's no money in the country. I mean, the last VAT days they had in December, July was so smart that he paid his salaries after VAT Day. So no money is circulating, and people want food. And somebody said perhaps a Jew is trying to help out his colleagues who are building their homes and need to benefit from this VAT Day. And it sounds logical. It sounds like Jew as well, my Straight Dog family. And you wonder, what are they thinking about? They're so disconnected, as I said earlier, my Straight Dog family. And before I forget, I must, and this is what Straight Dog is all about, so please do not get upset. Do not get upset because Denzel Llewellyn Douglas has celebrated my Straight Dog family. He celebrated 35 years of serving the people as a representative, the elected representative of St. Christopher VI. And we cannot dispute that. It is a fact. So I believe, and I call my comrade, my friend, and my brother and congratulated him, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas. Yes, he's my friend. He's my comrade. He's my brother as well, believe it or not, right? And I want to congratulate him again publicly for that milestone. Coming very close to him is our third prime minister as well. He's the second prime minister. Our third prime minister, Timothy Harris, I think is somewhere around 31 or somewhere around. I get that for you before the program is done. But they are the longest serving elected representatives in the Federation. And we have to give kudos where kudos are due. And I believe that congratulations are in order for Denzel Llewellyn Douglas for achieving 35 years as the elected parliamentary representative, mark it, the elected parliamentary representative of St. Christopher VI. That includes St. Paul's, Deep Bay Parsons, Sadlers, and Harris's, they call it, I think. So again, congratulations to my brother and comrade and friend, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas. And the other observation in review I want to touch quickly, my Straight Dog family. Oh no, I think I've done that. Yes, but I'll go straight in because time is of essence. I'll go straight into my thesis for tonight. Those are my observations in review, I must say. So I'll go straight into my thesis for tonight, my Straight Dog family. And I said I have titled that thesis A Series of Failures Under July, Reasons and Results. And I'll ask you for the reasons because as your host, I don't have a monopoly on the views or ideas. So I open the lines and perhaps you will have your own reasons why we have so many failures. As one common thread you'll hear: incompetence, inexperience, and things like that we hear. But when I started my thought process for tonight's edition of Straight Talk, I really found myself in a state of ambivalence, believe me a lot, my Straight Talk family. I found myself in a state of ambivalence, meaning that one thought came to mind that it should be water related. After all, tomorrow is World Water Day. And this should encourage us to do some reflection on the state of water or our water supply in St. Kitts. I'm speaking specifically to St. Kitts, which is at crisis point. I know Nevis has its issues as well. You hear the different stories about Bede and the Premier's relationship with Bede, but we'll leave that for another time. But here in St. Kitts, and I listened to the manager and water engineer today, Cromwell Williams, and I'll speak some more about that. And when asked about the water extracted in Cairn, all he spoke about was the yield. The yield. He's just emphasized the yield. And all he said again was about the yield, the yield, the yield. He said nothing whatsoever about the quality. And that is still baffling a lot of us. Because if the quality is good, he should tell us. And if the quality is bad, he should also tell us. But he should tell us, period. He has an obligation, and the permanent secretary as well, and the minister. They all have an obligation to tell us about the water testing and why the Bureau of Standards have not been utilized. You have some 27 wells or 28 wells. I think about 29 wells now. One is not, one has arsenic contamination, the last well that Bede built. That is a fact. That cannot be disputed. The last well that Bede drilled cannot be commissioned because according to the Bureau of Standards and its alliances, its overseas alliances, they confirmed as well that the quality of water from Shadwell 2 contain or was or had or still have or still has, I should say, arsenic contamination. That gives us more reason to want to know. The water engineer must tell the people, man, come on, he must tell the people that we should not assume that because you ain't say anything, the water good. No, you have an obligation. An obligation as a public servant, a civil servant, to do that. It's part of transparency and good governance, but we'll get back to that. But tomorrow is World Water Day, but tonight we are focusing on the serious failures, as I said, of July. So that was one thought, to do some reflection on the state of our water supply in light of the fact that tomorrow is World Water Day and water is life. But the other thought that caused me to reflect on, or rather caused me, I should say, to reflect on the diabolical economic malaise brought onto the country, mainly because of the incompetence, lack of integrity, and the lack of a policy direction from our leader, Terence Michael July. And from the day he assumed high office in this country, it was as if he was preaching faith, or as they would say in local parlance or local tongue, local language, that he put goat mouth upon the country. You've heard that before, I'm sure. He put goat mouth upon the country. You remember that? His big announcement, remember? His big announcement was about investors that were waiting on a change of government. So many investors waited on this Labour government. You remember that? He said this, my Straight Talk family. Investors were waiting on the Labour government.
It's quite interesting that after the elections, a number of investors came forward. And they said, Dr. Joe, we had been waiting to invest in St. Kitts and Nevis. And they said, why you didn't do it then? And they said they couldn't do it under the last administration. So we are looking at that, so they will have more, foreign investment that would help to stir the economy.
But my Straight Talk family, let's be serious. It's nigh 2 years, and there is not one investor that has come to the country. Oh, sorry. No, I take that back. I always like to present the true facts. There is one questionable investor. I say questionable investor, my Straight Dog family. And we saw this groundbreaking sometime early in the year. And I say questionable because this hotel, I'm not too certain, I stand to be corrected. This hotel is being funded, I believe. I'm not certain about it. I will reconfirm that, whether this hotel is being funded through the CBI. But I'm not told how many units or shares would be sold. I don't know if that is correct, but I'm hearing again from a reliable source that these investors are going to be, this investment is going to be funded through our CBI program. And my Straight Talk family, we will wait and see. We'll wait patiently to find out exactly what is the disposition of this project in terms of its funding. And you can see the hotel in Digo to be constructed in St. Kitts and Nevis after some 10-year delay. So is this one of the investors that waited on the Labour government? Because you said they waited for 10 years. But 10 years puts them to 2014. But my Straight Talk family, I wonder why they waited for long. As I said, I don't know if they're being funded through the CBI. But what I do know is this. What I do know is this, my Straight Talk family. What I know is that to construct 42 rooms for this quote-unquote luxurious hotel would cost a questionable $100 million US. And you know, I always tell you that maths is my strongest weak point. So I won't even attempt. I will attempt to calculate it. And that works out to a whopping US $2.4 million per room. Hear that? You hear me? That works out to 6,470,000 EC per room. No wonder July is afraid to tell us how much passports were sold under his watch and come telling us about the third prime minister signed more than him. You know? But you would hear more about the CBI later in the program. But July's most recent statement, we'll hear much more about that. But he told us, instead of telling us how many passports he sold, he said to us that the third Prime Minister, Timothy Harris, sold more passports than him, or signed more passports, whichever he said. I'll find information for you so that I don't misguide you. I do not ever want to misguide my listening, my Straight Talk family, I should say. Never want to do that. This is exactly what he said, just to be accurate.
What is the total number of passports that St. Nevis has approved over the years? And since you have taken office, how many passports have you issued under the CBI program?
You would have asked is about the numbers. And I've said to you before that the audit is actually being had. I am not going to call a number until that audit is complete, but I can tell you this, that the vast majority was signed by the immediate past Prime Minister.
You heard him for yourself, my Straight Talk family. When I asked about how many passports he signed, he's telling us that the vast majority was signed by the immediate past Prime Minister. What the hell he's talking about? We asked him how much he signed. How much you signed? That's what we asked you, Prime Minister. That's what we asked you. We don't ask you how much the Prime Minister, your predecessor, signed. But we'll get to the CBI. But let's go to his second big announcement, remember. Just reflecting on his 2 years in office. His second big announcement, you remember this, my Straight Talk family? His second big announcement he made to the country was that the country is what? What he said. Do you remember what he said? Tell me what he said. Guess what he said. No guess. Tell me what he said. No guessing here tonight, my Straight Talk family. He said something about the country. And, you know, his favorite color is red. And he said the country is in the red. Remember that? Don't you remember that, my straight dog family? He said the country is in the red. And I always want to bring you the facts, like I said, because he was actually speaking to the reporter, and very early, as I said, very early in his term, this was his second big announcement. His second big announcement, like I said, was that the country was in the red, my straight dog family. Oh my, I'm trying to find that for you, you know. But we'll get that. But he did say that the country was in the red. And my straight dog family, you know, liars have no memory. Liars have no memory. And weeks after, he promised to pay a double salary. I'm jogging your memory. Walk with me. Let's go down memory lane, my straight dog family. He said that when I asked where he was going to get the money from for the double salary, would you believe the man forget everything he said about the country being in red? And he then went on to say this, my straight dog family. He went on to say this.
You heard it straight from the Prime Minister's mouth. It's fake. All public servants will be getting a double salary. But PM, where is this coming from? Because here in Antigua and Barbuda, our government has not been able to offer stimulus to Antiguans and Barbudans during COVID. And we keep hearing of all these great initiatives in your country. Have you discovered oil somewhere in Bastia?
I can't say we have discovered oil. Let me say that each country has its own response, but this has been our response. I can't say we don't have oil. Of course, we had some monies put away for a long time now that we would use during a rainy day.
And my straight dog family, this is in September or October it was, right? When he promised to pay his double salary on his birthday. You remember that, right? And he said he has money put away for a long time. So I mean, he's in office for 3 months, or not 3 months, 2 months. But he had money put away for a rainy day. And you know, my straight dog family, what the man found was reserves that were left by the third prime minister, some $683 or $84 million. He didn't want to give credit where credit is due, you know. And my straight dog family, then he made another big announcement. You remember he said this as well, my straight dog family, about preventing this.
Decided from June 2023. So we started to pay every month from September. So we came in August, we started to pay right away from October. And we started to pay the $200,000. Again, Social Security had no money. I mean, not Social Security, Development Bank had no money. The bank was on the verge of collapse. I couldn't say that to the country for people to lose confidence and run on the bank and basically sink the bank. That would have been the worst scenario. I had to put the country's interest above immediate political interest or any other interest. The immediate interest was, let us save Development Bank. And so we started to make moves to save Development Bank. The other thing
my straight dog family, you hear the nonsense that our leaders as spouts from his mouth, right? I hope by now he would have had a crash course on the role of a development bank, because he has not come back, or he hasn't spoken much about development bank. But remember, he said this as well, you know. He said this was about the bank.
really hurts is the development bank. Oh boy. Madam Speaker, what took place at the development bank is enough to make a big man cry. But what has been uncovered, Madam Speaker, is over $20-something million can't be accounted for in cash. This again is not some figment of my imagination. Madam Speaker, over $20-something million missing.
And when you hear people talking about 20-something, and about this, you tend to ask your questions. But you recognize that he has not been speaking about this $20 million in cash that went missing. And that's odd. Don't you find, my Straight Talk family? That's odd. I find it odd. But you see, my Straight Talk family, the 2 years are coming up on us, my Straight Talk family. And if there was justice in the land, I tell you the truth, Terence Michael Drew and his chief legal advisor, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, they would have been in jail. Drew for raping the treasury, and Lucifer Wilkin for committing a criminal offense. Yes, Drew raped the treasury when he facilitated a $5.8 million loan for 1,000 water buckets. And why would he just procure? Why would he just order 1,000? Yes, we call them water buckets. You recognize that the TDC donated 2 of the tanks. Those are real tanks, water tanks, to the water department. You wonder how come they went to Cash the Allers and not to TDC or to OD Brisbane. But you see, those are the kind of people we are. So 1 water bucket that were ordered by Drew through the Prime Minister's office, which offered a contract to Cashley Allers for 1,000 buckets, and that calculates at $5,800 per bucket. That has to be raping the treasury. And I said, if he had justice in the land, he would have been in jail for raping the treasury. See it like how they want to jail Trump? He would jail the first prime minister here. That first prime minister get a jail would have been Drew. And you know what he would have been jailed for as well? In 2 weeks or less, when after he assumed office, or the office of Prime Minister or the Prime Minister's office, whichever we want to choose, he took up his Georgie bundle from his house in St. Peter's and commandeered the judge's residence at Beacon Heights, discarded all the furniture, bought brand new furniture, and occupied that house, and is still occupying that house as we speak. And it was also alleged, and there is confirmation, and Drew has not denied it and cannot deny it, that even though he lived in a government-owned house, all of last year, he collected a housing allowance from the treasury. And that is jail work, I said, jail work. And these are the serious failures within this government. And my straight talk family, he even spoke about the National Bank. He spoke about the National Bank and he said this as well. Nonsense he spoke about the National Bank.
If you have shares in National Bank, you did not get any dividends last year, but you'll get your dividends this year. I can say that to you. And so we are expecting to be a profit, a turnaround with a profit so that we can pay dividends this year. So that indigenous bank, which is the largest indigenous bank in the OECS, that is why the central bank, I think, is in St. Kitts and Nevis, has rebounded significantly well over the last year.
And that is so far from the truth, my straight dog family. Because the National Bank paid dividends. It wasn't the first time they paid stock dividend. The National Bank paid a stock dividend. They didn't pay cash dividend. But the National Bank paid a stock dividend. They paid you a percentage. You got some additional shares, which is called stock. The bank gave all its shareholders additional shares that they call stock, a stock dividend. So again, Jew is lying. He just don't know what he's talking about. And sometimes you ask, who is advising Dr. Jew? Well, if it is really Appleton, we know who is Appleton. We call him Appleton. He has no other name on this program. The chief advisor to Dr. Jew. No wonder he gets this kind of advice. But my straight talk family, those of us who live in St. Kitts and Nevis, and those of us who were born here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and many of us went nowhere. We went through the rough times and tough times in this country. And I wish to encourage all of us nonetheless to consider the dire need to elect a government that is controlled by the people. The people must control the government. My straight dog family. And students of American history and politics, I'm sure, must have read about James Madison, who was called the father of the Constitution of the United States of America, or the founding father of the United States, and the fourth American president. He was a strong he advocated for a strong federal government and composed the first drafts of the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. He earned the nickname Father of the Constitution. And we reflect as well on the father of the Federation, Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, who left behind him in St. Kitts and Nevis a solid structure of social services and amenities in this country. He had faults. All of us have faults. There's no man who has walked the face of this earth and is perfect except a man called Jesus Christ. But Bradshaw was a man of high principles and had the courage of his own convictions. He stood out as a forceful leader, a skillful politician, and he always advocated for real changes in St. Kitts and Nevis, and as it is written, the broader Caribbean. He was a federalist. He went to the West Indies Federation. He never believed in CARICOM after the Federation, the West Indies Federation that is, had fallen apart. You know, he was the first Minister of Finance in that federation. Gave up his own seat here in the country and went as a regionalist. But getting back to James Madison, as I said, one of the founding fathers, is a primary contributor to the American Constitution, and he wrote in the Federalist Papers, as I said, about the need for government that could be controlled by the people. And he was attributed to have said this, and I like the sound, the content, and the tone. And I quote, he said, if men were angels, no government would be necessary. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls on government would be necessary. He went on, in framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the great difficulty lies in this. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place oblige it to control itself. A dependence on the people is no doubt, he continued, the primary control on the government. But experience has taught mankind the necessity of auxiliary options. And that's what we're looking at when we think about this government that we have, this administration, I should dare say, my straight dog family. And when you reflect on the failures of this administration, just look back. They bungled the peace program, as a friend of mine was reminding me tonight. Look what they did. They bungled the peace program and renamed it some Elevate. They bungled the poverty alleviation program and name it Lift. But if it's lifting, it must take all the poor people on this ride. But no, they displaced over 5,000 people from the poverty alleviation program, my straight dog family. There's a young lady who is a minister with responsibility for social development. I said whenever you hear her, you wonder if she is baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. She always said, IMF said this, and IMF recommended this, streamlined the program, so they took 5,000 people off the program. And we must also put blame by the feet of the slow student, who is the senior minister in that ministry. Look at how they are bungling or have bungled the citizenship by investment program. We used to be the platinum brand, as it was called, number one, numero uno. But we're now last. This program is now last, my straight dog family. Developers are waiting for nigh over 1 year to get the applications approved because of this new chairman of the board of governors. I understand all the applications are piled up on his desk. You're told just about 6 or 7 applications have been approved. And when asked about the program, all we hear is this.
I want to say that I will make a significant, I will speak on the CBI program within the next month to really share more in-depth
And my straight talk family, as if he has something really to hide. But we know that there are issues with the program. And we know that nothing is going on in the country. Nothing is going on in the country. No development, my street dog family. There's one that you come on stream that deals with the creative arts as some theater that would be constructed, I understand, in the next couple of weeks. That should all start. We understand, my street dog family. And the bungling of the CBI is creating are the issues that we have today. Yes, he said this, my straight dog family. Remember,
I want to say that I will make a significant, I will speak on the CBI program within the next month to really share more in-depth information. As we came in, we had to do, of course, our audit and research and to extract the information and to see what we were really dealing with. And so I want to say to the caller that more information and a more comprehensive set of information will be coming very, very soon within the next month.
But what he has done with the CBI money, because a lot of money was left there, but they spend money like a drunken sailor. And he has frightened all of us. And he himself seemed to be frightened. As we said, he's poo-pooing in his pants. And the latest we've heard from him, my straight talk family, was this, or is this.
So there will be some rough patches as we go through, because the rough patch is going to come because of the CBI program. The CBI program has taken a hit. I will in the next 2 weeks or so.
In the next 2 weeks or so, did you hear what he said? Just for those who didn't hear this, expect some rough patches, not me, rough patches, real patches. My street dog family, expect this, he said.
So there will be some rough patches as we go through, because the rough patch is going to come because of the CBI program. The CBI program has taken a hit. I will in the next 2 weeks or so.
He said the CBI program has taken a hit. How do you interpret that, my straight dog family? How do you interpret that? But my straight dog family, we gave you some reasons for the failure. But we also gave you the results. But truth be told, this administration has not delivered anything for the people. They just have not delivered. But what? They have delivered for themselves, my straight dog family.
Madam Speaker, the point is that here out there is a perception that this government is taking care of itself and not about the ordinary people. Not about the ordinary people. And today we will get a perfect demonstration of it. The issues that matters, jobs creation, the cost of living, the economic freedom of the people, all those are being lost in this landscape. Farmers, fisher folks, every sector, people are being feeling oppressed, under pressure, and unable to get relief.
And my straight dog family, they helped themselves. Remember, they gave themselves a big salary increase. Big salary increase. How could we forget this, my straight dog family? when they gave themselves this big salary increase against all the odds, my straight dog family, all the odds, and only to try to convince us, my straight dog family, try to justify, I should rather say, that they deserve it. They deserve what, my straight dog family? What do they deserve? Do they deserve anything? They deserve to be sent home. That's what they deserve, my straight dog family. Send them home. They are not a government controlled by the people. And we need to send them home, my straight dog family. They have delivered for themselves. And their own people have said that, my straight dog family. Said that.
My thing is, I believe you do it later. The first election and you win, and you go back in. I feel that you should
that may be a point.
That you were able to deliver for people before you deliver for yourself. But this is my point of view.
That's everybody's point of view. They have not delivered for the people, but they have delivered for themselves. And having delivered for themselves, my straight dog family, then, and only then, they now come to us and they're telling the people. They come to us now and are telling people, children as we say, my straight dog family, that we are going through rough times. Expect rough times, my straight dog family. What does he mean by rough times? We do have rough times already because people cannot afford to buy food to put on their table. People can't buy sardines. People can't buy cornflakes. People can't buy carnation milk. And the list goes on, my straight dog family. And is Jew telling us to buckle up our belts for rougher times? Is that what Jew is saying, my straight dog family? What is Jew really saying? That's what we are asking. What is he saying?
So there will be some rough patches as we go through, because the rough patch is going to come because of the CBI program. The CBI program has taken a hit. I will in the next 2 weeks or so.
Well, my straight dog family, they have delivered for themselves, for sure, as he made certain that their fat salary increase is already being paid from the taxpayers' money in the government treasury. Sadly, though, they have failed to deliver for the country, and all we can point to is a series of failures under July. And I have given you some reasons. I have given you some results. But that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines, though, my straight dog family, and entertain your calls and your emails. I always like to implore you, before I do so, and I'll open the lines in a moment, I always like to implore you to respect others. And of course, to respect others, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in doing and or saying those things, let us, my straight dog family, strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. And the numbers again, as they are on your screen, you should have no problems finding the numbers. They are just in the event you are not reading it. It's 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672, my straight dog family. 646-829-6672. Those are the numbers. There's some of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. And by that I mean you don't want to be heard rather on on radio, and I understand why, and I could understand that because we are afraid, because the sort of government we have to deal with, my straight dog family, is a vindictive government, and I could understand that, my straight dog family. And my straight dog family, for those who have just joined me, as I said, my thesis tonight is a series of failures, and my emails are banking up, so I will just ensure that I will lessen the bundle, reduce the bundle of my straight dog family. And this email reads, Devon Cornelius of the Morning Edge program has proven himself as a bare-faced liar patches. The U.S. citizen and cotton ground Nevis man asked Devon last Tuesday morning if there was any truth that the Nevisian ambassadors, envoys, etc., that Dr. Harris had appointed to represent the Federation in foreign lands were all terminated by Drew and his administration. Just imagine that bare-faced liar Devon told the Nevisian fellow man, or his Nevisian fellow man, that he has no knowledge of that. This man Devon, who prides himself as an independent and has no fear in asking any minister or politician any hard question, had to lie to the cotton ground U.S. citizen by saying to him he knows nothing about that. Boy, Devon, you should be ashamed of yourself. I want to say to the cotton ground Nevis man that you are right. All 3 Nevisian ambassadors were sent home or sent packing. Dr. Eversley Hull of Bath Village, the ambassador to the AOS, that should be the OAS, Miss Sherry Truss of Matchman's Road, Gingerland, the ambassador, or that should be High Commissioner in Canada she was, and Miss Ambrister of Government Road, Nevis, the ambassador in England, were all fired by Drew and replaced by petitions. And not only the only sin, beg your pardon, they had committed was that Dr. Harris gave them their position. And the Nevis snake Brantley has not up to this day uttered a word of victimization and condemnation against the Prime Minister, Dr. July. So, don't let Devon fool you, my brother. He was strategically selected and placed at ZIZ to defend Drew and present damage control when he and his administration get caught and mess up. Let's go to the lines. A caller, I want to thank you for holding.
Mr. Patel, good night.
Oh, that's the opening back.
Patel.
Yes, my dear brother. How art thou?
I'm fine. I am wonderful. I just wake up.
You just wake up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why you wake up this time at night? It's just after 9 o'clock. You should be sleeping. Huh?
Well, I said I just wake up.
Well, good to hear you. What, you have some Bible verses for me tonight, do you? Are you there?
No. The word of God says in Psalm 2, Psalm chapter 1. Yeah.
Are you there?
I am telling you something, Mr. Patel. The word of God said, Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High
shall abide under the shadow.
Shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress. In God will I trust.
True.
Surely He shall deliver me from the snares of the fowler, and from the noise of the pestilence.
Noisome pestilence.
He shall cover me with His feathers. Under His wing thou trust. His truth shall be my shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night,
no.
nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor the pestilence that walk in darkness, nor the destruction that come at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, 10,000 at thy right hand, it shall not come nigh thee. Tonight I'm giving to God thanks and praise for another Monday night. God is being good to me. And so I have to give God thanks and praise, Mr. Patches. So God is good. Psalm 41. He blessed is the man that consider the poor. In the time of trouble, the Lord shall deliver him. Mr. Patches, when a man consider the poor, the Lord is going to deliver him. Right? And when he go to the waters, the Lord is going to be with him because he look after the poor. I'm supposed to read Psalm chapter 1, but how I just wake up, I had to catch myself first. But Mr. Patrick, Galatians chapter 5, chapter 6, verse 7. And this is my favorite passage of scripture. It says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that he shall also reap. So, Mr. Patrick, I am going no further than there. And so, I will listen to you and have a pleasant night. Mr. Patrick, bye-bye.
Have a pleasant night as well. I'm always happy to hear you. We go straight back to the lines. I'll call you live. Always welcome.
Pleasant good evening to you.
How are you, my dear lady? Good evening to you as well.
I'm fine.
Always good to
Thank
see.
God.
Always good to see those dimples.
Yes, and how are you?
I am peaceful.
Okay.
Really peaceful.
You know, we have a song. Show me where you fell apart and I make him a suit. You hear lie?
Show you all the corner, right?
That is lie. You hear lie?
Yeah.
Just show me the corner where you fell apart.
You make him a suit.
And you make him a suit.
Yes.
Well, that tailor, they have a few suits to go make. Because we have some export liar in this place. I do not know how we going to get around them. All of a sudden, you find all the radio stations then when people call in and try to defend the lie what they're telling. You find all the radio stations then, everybody now come up on the radio attack. King Lawyer, your family, Benson and Hedges, and Lucifer, and that same one that you call it tonight, they're from Nevis. They must come export and lying. All of a sudden, they got all the answer for everything. When you talk, they had the answer all the time, but they're not coming, come say nothing. And as soon as the public rush out on them, all of them are the part of all the radio stations, and I tell you how we go, and then I tell you all the time.
They call it damage control.
They call it damage control, yes.
Yeah.
That's what they are. And I do not know if you remember, but I remember well because I was down 4th Street when Team Unity win. King Lawyer look like he been done before election come. all up among him, them account Hamilton vote them over and over and over and over and couldn't get no decision. They went to court. Then local here had to pull out of the court because they ain't have nothing. He had was to win. This election was done here. Whatever he deal with, he had was to win. So that's the reason why he could get and say, election could be bought
easily bought, yeah.
Especially this time. So he had was to win. Whatever he deal with was coming for him. So he had was to buy it. You see, as we win, he Saturday morning before 6, he don't even go sway in. When you look, in Monday morning, he say country in already. When you look, in Wednesday morning, he say, no, he and 14 of them gone away overseas and the country in already. The next Thursday morning, you look to here, $1 million and odd dollars missing from Development Bank.
20 million.
And he's still in trouble. He's still troubling.
20 million, he said.
20 and a half million, 20 million and a half.
In cash.
That's what he said.
In cash, he said.
In cash, because they was putting it out in envelope, going about his business. I wonder if he just sleep good when night time come. I believe, no wonder he and the DJ always put up the phone at night at 3 o'clock. Now you tell me you bring the somebody here you dig out a hole and come down here and you still want a phone 3 o'clock a morning time with somebody else and you got somebody in your house in with you. Something wrong with them. You hear me, Patrice? You have a pleasant night if I get back and you come again.
Thank you. That's home affairs there. That one is home affairs. Yes, somebody in the house with him. That is what we call home affairs. We have not included that one, but Shredok family, if you have just joined me, I started somewhat late, too late, yes, and I apologize for it, and I want to apologize again. Some of you may have joined me late as well, and may not have heard the title of my thesis, which is, as I said before, I've titled a series of failures under July. And I tried to make the point, or I made the point, I tried to make the point that my thought process tonight was firstly about world or water, because tomorrow is World Water Day. The other thought process came to me was when I reflected on the state of our economy. But let's go to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Thank you. Good night, Patches. Good night to everyone listening.
Good night, my brother.
Patches, I'm going back to one time I raised a question in respect to the environmental levy. I mean, I listened on the news today that there will be a VAT day of instead of 17% that usually we charge, it will reduce to 5%. Now, question: when a new administration take office, do they review the laws that the previous administration was working under or working with? Because, government is continuous. Having said that, if the new administration campaign on certain things under one, why would they continue with certain way of governing of the previous administration? For instance, I had a conversation with Timothy one time before the new administration, and I attacked that environmental levy. Is it really ethical when they did pass that law to collect taxes from a vehicle or vehicles that come from overseas? And that name of environmental levy, it is an imposter to what environmental levy is. This administration is continuing to collect taxes from a vehicle that come into the country, and that name of environmental levy should be changed to something else. I mean, I could understand that. Sorry, let me just finish. I could understand the government needed money in some way to pay the social government workers. But I approach Daya Ascafan because that environmental levy was tabled in 2000 and became law in 2001. And Daya said, is the IMF who put them to do that. What? And they do it, but that was a wrong way of charging people because environmental is something to do with pollution. Before a vehicle come into the country, it not even start to pollute, and once it reach into custom.
But Carla, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is the environmental levy is not on all vehicles? They're on certain age vehicles. I mean, which we understood.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it matters because we understood that those used vehicles that Japan and other countries were dumping in the islands was creating an environmental risk for us, or hazard. And
okay.
That was the whole ration behind it. So it's not on all vehicles. So what is the point, though? What is your point? I don't know.
The point is, remember they said environmental levy. Does the government have anything to check the emission of toxic vehicle coming into the country to know if it is toxic and it's a threat to the health of people? If when that tax was passed, when that levy was passed, they should have prepared themselves to have emission to check these vehicles, because it's not everyone who could afford a brand new vehicle. And I am aware of the levy to year of vehicle coming to the country. If a vehicle between 1 and 2 years, it will be $1,000 assessed. Over 2-3 years, it is $2,500, and 5 years and beyond is $5,000. But the point is, new vehicles give problems too, and they have an emission problem. But the country does not have emission tools to check the emission that come out of their tailpipe. So that should be revisited, and it was a wrong tax. It was not. It is in the United States. I'm not comparing the United States with St. Kitts, but if you need to check the emission of what vehicle is polluting the place, let the government pass, say, okay, every 2 years, every vehicle come in to do an emission test. They don't have that there. And the Caribbean and a whole, that the St. Kitts is polluting the place and one of the biggest greenhouse gas polluter. So they have to get everything together and continue with the tax. That tax is wrong.
Okay, I got you, my brother, and I normally don't interrupt my callers, but I don't have the capacity to discuss that in the environmental matters with you, right? But in terms of the other allowed you to go on, I thought you would have tied it to a failure, because what we're discussing tonight is the serious failure failure, beg your lad, of July, because our country is failing economically, socially, and otherwise, right?
But it kind of ties.
How does it tie?
It ties because remember it's a part of the taxes that is going to be charged.
Okay.
And it's about the taxes that going to be reduced.
Okay.
The vehicles are not in there. And first of all, it should not have been there from beginning.
Okay.
The point I'm trying to make, the new administration should review laws that is passed through Parliament and see if it's ethical. Because I realize it. I recognize it. Okay? So they continue. And remember, government is continuous. So they're continuing a rip-off that the previous administration and the previous administration before the previous administration, and that started in Douglas time. So the robbery continues. They got to visit that because environmental levy in the name of environmental, that is nowhere near because they don't have no kind of tools apparatus to check the pollution, and that is tax. I'm fighting for vehicles, people who import in vehicles, because those dealers in St. Kitts and Nevis, they're overpricing their vehicle, wherever they come from. And hear what you said. Japan dumped their toxic vehicles on the Caribbean, okay? And people glad to get a vehicle. Okay. So if Japan dump their toxic vehicle on us, we should check them rather than to just charge, and that money is too much. For an emission test in the United States, in my area, New York, diaspora, is $20, 20 US, and $5,000 for a vehicle, and they have other vehicles in the country that is there now. It's polluting the place. Polluting the place, killing our people with asthma. So they got to visit that, and I'm serious.
Okay, my brother, I believe.
Visit it. Thank you for the time.
Yes, I allowed you to really express yourself, and you seem very passionate about the environmental issue you raise, and we know they listen. So if you have really resonated with them, I'm sure they'll do something. I think the reason why Dr. July could not make a positive statement on the CARICOM free movement issue with this email with regards to St. Kitts and Nevis stance is simple. The man is incapable for the job and has to walk behind other CARICOM leaders to hear what they say and follow. This rubbish he was bobbing around with, that he need more data and will not do anything that is unacceptable to the Federation. Pure rubbish. He's unfit for the job, reads this email. And this other email reads, Boy Devon, you really singing to Prime Minister and Labour, reads this other email, for your supper. They got rid of Alfred Bradley, who was more objective, endearing and accommodating to his listeners, and high-handedly replaced him with a so-called political Christian stooge of July. This guy is so arrogant, dismissive, haughty, and disrespectful, especially to Mrs. Henry. When he was at Win FM, and before they sacked him for his incompetence, he was a little different. But since Dr. July took him over as one of his journalistic palace guards, oh, what a difference it has made. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, I thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? This caller listening to me. Hello, caller. Okay, this caller seems not to be answering the telephone. My Straight Talk family, it is now 9:37, my Straight Talk family. And if you have just joined me, then our theme song, our theme our thesis title, I should say, is a series of failures under July. Reasons and results. And what we've looked at, or we have been looking at for this evening, my Straight Talk family, we have made the point that this administration is let's go back to the lines. I'll come back to that, my Straight Talk family. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Yes, my lord. How are we doing, my brother? I am peaceful. I am peaceful. I'm feeling bright. Yes.
Straight Talk and everybody who listening to this program. Not time to sing loud tonight. Who's sleeping, wake up. Patches, he said the country is in the red, but as a winky gone where instead, when he go, he left the country behind, leave it behind. But the new investors he cannot find. That is that man from Monkey Hill, that black Hitler, that wicked man named Terrence Joe, has no heart, no love. Take away the money from the people who are in need, who deserve the money that was given to them, the $500 to help them with the business in the home. Take it away and causing people to be malnourished. You know the amount of children and older people who cannot walk now. Malnourished through he starving them with the $500 and talk about he only 15 and nothing targets up. The man is a lie. When the interview lady asked him if Saints have oil, have foreign oil, he said that they had some money put away. And in just a matter of 2 or 3 weeks, we had some money put away for this thing. And then he's still accusing and blaming Dr. Harris and said, well, country red. That man is a lie. He's saying before he said the farm administration had some money put away, he taking praises which doesn't belong to him. He's to lie. And he need to stop it. That man, they rape the country treasury, taking up all kind of people every week, going here and going there. And they consider when that the country need the money to provide work for people and stop turning away people because they ain't backing you. And next thing he got all kind of people on all kind of radio station now every day. Every day going up, they go tell lie. And he got one was on a radio station today, ZIZ. But I refuse to listen to him. That is beg and borrow. Because what could he advise anybody, tell anybody? When he himself was employed as a law enforcer, uphold the law, and he deliberately break the law, and was discharged from his job disgracefully, and then now he come about his special advisor to advise what? He can't advise nobody. No wonder the country running like that. Joe and he cabal them, they got the country underwater financially and democratically. That man there is a wicked man. He don't have no love for the country. Look what the country be. With the IMF. I mean not the IMF, the citizen, the CBI program. Look where we be. We were up top. Now we're scrabbling to come in from last. And we can't get back in there. Not under heat. He need to move from there. So I am asking all hands on deck tonight here. All hands on deck, not the vast majority of people. Like he like to use the word vast. Please come on board. Them from the west come to the east. Them from the east come to the west, north, go to the south, south, go to the... We need to save our island ship. Joe got the ship on the reef, and we're going to drown. Everybody take up a oar, and let's do what we have to do for the betterment of this country. Forget who ain't like who, and who not talk to who. Done with that, it's only Jesus Christ can judge when he come back to this earth. That is, I'll come back. Thank you, Maisie. Good shot.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. This email reads, a pleasant good evening, Mr. Patches. I am sure by now you are tired of smart hospital, smart homes. Haha, the slow one is trying to outdo his prime minister. He is about to put in some state-of-the-art latrines in the Keon High School. Patches, that bald-head Rasta said he is awaiting this data. He lied. He done signed for them to come and make life difficult for us. And that rattlesnake is trying to pass by RLB, telling people Nevis to St. Martin to the USA, Canada, Europe is the way to go. You remember when they used to pay their departure tax in Nevis and fly out of RLB? Patches pull up Alexandra Bustamante's speech when he said these small islands who have nothing will not suck on our breasts. Now they come into our shores to live. And I will not touch Haiti. Labor is recruiting criminals to make life bad for us. We have to stop it. Good night, warrior, and God bless. Reads this email. This other email reads, St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister has evolved into a tyrannous leader. He will not tolerate any opposition to his rule and will offer anything to anyone to cease criticizing him or his administration. He started out first with the buying out of Mark Brantley with his two other stooges from the opposition side to give him and his government tacit support in every aspect of his rule. But only in St. Kitts they could get away with this kind of dishonest scheming and machinations between Jew and Mark. You are telling me, Mr. Patches, that with all of the victimization that's been perpetrated against PAM supporters, the latest of which was the Deputy Chief Security Officer at Port Zante, and I purposely will not include the hundreds of PLP supporters in this regard because of the tyrannous hatred Mr. Stupid Mark has developed against the PLP leader. It hurt me so bad to see that Mark, as the paid opposition leader in Parliament, has never once issued a press release in condemnation or raised the matter in the House on behalf of those victimized sufferers. As I say, Patches, only in St. Kitts, not Nevis. These acts of injustices can happen and go like that. I am calling on the PAM supporters to shout out boo-boo wherever they see Mark and his two other stooges as a Mark protest. Don't let him get away with their dirty, nasty behavior as the opposition leader and members and feel they are doing us justified, feel it's been justified by us. Patches, say something about the desalination plan that Dr. Joe and his team just broke ground on, and the smart home that just inaugurated, and now the St. Peter's Main Road upgrade is going on. Keep us updated. Also the apron on the RLB apron parking. Also the new terminal that was promised by Honorable Marshall Henderson. Tell us something. What is to be said about that, my Straight Talk family? It took forever to implement that desalination plant, which was a gift from the government of the United Arab Emirates. In fact, I was the one who signed the agreement some years ago. I don't know why it took so long. Mark Brantley tried to own the agreement, and then now Drew himself comes after and tries to own it as well. That's something been around forever. Just like they held up the solar farm, they held up the desalination plant as well. So what is to be said about that? The smart homes are not for poor people. Imagine a one-bedroom house for 110,000 people. And they said, my dear brother, they said that you have to be bankable for you to get a smart home. So don't be fooled about that. The St. Peter's Main Road, it's long overdue, and I'm happy that it has started. But the fact is, it has doubled its cost. It's $31 million. It's about half what we built the entire Island Main Road for. So what's to keep you up to date on that? In terms of the upgrade at the apron upgrade, if you look at the eastern portion of the apron and you compare the western portion, which was done under T-Unity, the western portion was done under concrete. The eastern portion was done under asphalt. And I walked in it just a few days ago, and I can tell you, I can see it deteriorating pretty fast in terms of that east apron parking. And it was not done under Team Unity because of the COVID, and they, in fact, had I don't know why they put it there anyway, I must say. This building that costs so much money, you just walk through this building in terms of COVID and the COVID tests. But it was useless and money wasted. But in fact, had I had to advise the administration, concrete is expensive. Yes, it's more expensive, but in terms of its lifespan, it is about 4 times asphalt. So what's there to update about except to say that I would have recommended that the portion of the apron which was done, funds were already earmarked for it through the Social Security with Casper, and it was to be done in concrete. This administration came in and tried to own it and instead put it in asphalt. So what else can we update you about? New terminal, that's a pie in the sky. That's a pie in the sky. We have some serious failures going on. Haven't you heard what the Prime Minister said about the CBI? Over 50% of the revenue that we generate, the income that we generate, comes through the CBI. And what you said about the CBI, didn't you hear him, my dear brother, if you just joined the program late? This is what he said about the CBI.
So there will be some rough patches as we go through, because the rough patch is going to come because of the CBI program. The CBI program has taken a hit. I will in the next 2 weeks or so.
Why would it take him 2 weeks to tell us about the CBI program? If it has taken a hit, what does he mean by taking a hit? What we know is that he has bungled the CBI from ever since he got into office, and we have moved from the number 1 platinum to about number 4 or 5. We've gone dead last when it comes to CBI. So he's trying to massage us before he gives us the bad news about the CBI, because his revenue, nothing is going into the treasury from the CBI. He said he wouldn't diversify it, but you can't just kick it out overnight. How could you kick it out? And that's what he is doing. This email reads, Patches, it is time for the Bible man to be told to be a part of the show. Ask him if he understands the topic of the night show. All he does is train your show with the Bible. Is he holier than you and I? Is he born again? How was he baptized? In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost? Or in the name of Jesus? I think he's doing that because you are entertaining him. Thank you. Read this email. And we are all entitled to our view, but I'm sure many people look forward to those Bible verses, what I call the spiritual intervention in the program. Patches, good night. I just want to correct you that the environmental levy is collected on all vehicles now. Oh, that's true. There are 3 phases according to the year of the vehicle. There's a $1,000 fee, a $2,500 fee, and a $500 fee. So the caller was correct. I don't believe. Well, I have to check that the environmental levy is not charged on new vehicles. I'll be taken aback if that is so. I understand Minister Conris and his wife and Marsha, tourism minister, left the people's business and is presently in the Dominican Republic at the 50th birthday party bash. Reads that email. Good night, Patches. We are all aware that the present government believes in victimization. However, Mr. Hull and Miss Truss were not fired. They both resigned. Therefore, the Premier of Nevis does not have to discuss their resignation. Thank you for keeping us informed. And yes, I do believe you are correct. The emailer, Mrs. Hull, yes, Mr. Hull resigned and Ms. Truss resigned their positions. That is correct. That's what Straight Talk is all about. And we appreciate that correction. And I should have made that point when I read that email. So you are welcome for that correction. And we love that for Straight Talk because we want to bring the facts out. Today on Issues program, I was very surprised at Miss Jamie McPhail when she had Mr. Williams, the water engineer, in studio. She refused to open the lines to callers to ask Williams some questions about the water in Cairn that Beads found. Furthermore, she also refused to read the questions on the wall as she's accustomed to do. Some of the questions I saw on the wall was asking Mr. Williams if the water found in the Cairn was potable or good to drink. They evaded the questions, and that should make every Cairnite to get suspicious about the water. I am very disappointed with Miss McPhail. I really thought she was the strongest of journalists in the media association. Fear-mongering boy, I tell you, read this email. I heard the interview, and when asked about, all he spoke about was the pumping level, the capacity of the well, and nothing at all about the quality of the water. Yes, you do the pump test, but you must also do the quality test. But I'm disappointed. I'm really, really disappointed that with the water engineer, because it is his responsibility, and now I understand he's now chairman of some water board, right? But one of the requirements, one of the standard operation or operating procedures, the SOPs, is to quality test the water. And I asked the question, we're happy that water was found. I am happy, I'm elated, because since the 1950s they've been drilling over there in Cairn, but this deep well drilling has found water. Yes, and we're happy they found water, but I am cautious. I'm really cautious, because they're not saying anything. I mean, the minister is just as arrogant, the so-called engineer. If he says, for example, we speak to the desalination, and he has 3 proposals, how will you just tell us about one? Tell us who the hell the other 2 proposals are, if it in fact had 3 proposals. Tell us who the other requests for proposals came from. And so too with the water. You tell us how much water is found. What's wrong in telling the people that the water was tested by Bede or tested by whatever company, and it was found to be good? And we still ask the question, why is the Bureau of Standards not being involved in the testing of the water? Is it because the Bureau of Standards found that the last well drilled by Bede still has arsenic contamination, which they have taken years to fix? So these are the issues that we are confronted with, my Straight Talk family, and this is bad. Bad. It has nothing to do about the water. We're not saying the water is bad, but we can't say the water is good because you're not saying anything. And we're saying that the people have a right to know. If you're transparent, come on, let's hear what's happening. Do not put politics over up the people's health and safety. My Straight Talk family, it's 3 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. And we are winding down tonight's programming, although I started in a tardy way. And I'm sorry, I had this call on hold for some time now. Caller, I'm really sorry about this. Are you there, sir? I'm really sorry.
I'm here.
I'm sorry about that. I had you on hold. I was trying to get rid of my emails.
I understand, man.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I understand. No, Patches, you got me?
Yes, you're live.
Right, no. The CBI program started under PAM. And then Dr. Douglas continued it. And then Dr. Harris continued it. And it was inflated hard with money in the country. So that Dr. Harris on the PLP, Unity, he was able to give, we all know how many double salary he was able to give from his leadership. And then now this Taliban Black Hitler come in and said that the CBI going to some patches. Well, what he punctuate for? He made the thing inflated hard with money, and now we come in here, raise up the money the money that he made there. After he done tell the big lie about country red, and now he come talking about we going through patches. The man they need to go from there. He knows nothing how to lead a country because he never expect to be in that position. But you see what happened to he disrespect Dr. Douglas, who were in politics for 33 years, coming with the disrespect, but what goes around comes around. And he's showing up now. What is inside of him, busting out on his skin. He need to get up from there. Now let me go to this action plan from the so-called Calypsonian, Mr. Point of Order, Congress. Look where he wanted to go put the desalination plant down by the Texaco ESO place station down there. Now we know the water from the airport goes down right down the tongue bay. The water come across Pan Road from the prison, water smells so stink, going down there, and he wanted to go put desalination plant down there. What happened to the boy? Over on the east Atlantic side of the island, over the water is cleaner and purer than down there by in your tongue. And remember, he got the whole latrine out in the water. So you see the man, they don't know what they're doing. Why you want to go do that? And we don't got problem inland with wells. Certain wells got to shut down, like the one of Shadwell or whatever it is. Shut down and he can go to put the desalination plant down there. People do not be fooled this time. They have to come out in there before they make 2 years in office. They must come out. Because where they run in this country here, we doing more than slide wine. We down the drain, we going down in the culvert now. Do not be fooled again with no plate of rice and a chicken leg and a bottle of rum by your side and $200. That is only for a couple hours. So why are you going to know who put them there? You had things good. When you when you buy a new vehicle and you working good, don't go under the bandit with no pliers and no screwdriver because you touch it and screw off that. Don't trouble what working good. You do not forget. Please do not forget. And the last thing I'm going to say, Patches, Joe and he gang them, they need to go up in the Middle East, up there between Israel and the Palestinian them. Go up there in the middle, then he will know how to run a country. Patches, you have a good night. All the best to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow, definitely on the phone.
Okay, my brother, always good to hear you. As we wind down tonight's programming, I know that I sometimes give you back the time that we lost tonight due to my own difficulty that I created. But for those who would have joined me after, I titled my thesis or short dissertation tonight, A Series of Failures Under July, Reasons and Results. And as I said earlier, when I began my thought process for tonight's edition of Straight Talk, I found myself in a state of ambivalence, meaning that one thought came to mind that it should be water related. After all, tomorrow is World Water Day. And a lot of things have been said about water, but I've been around water for nigh 20 years or more. So I believe I have some authority to speak about water. And some things were said by the soca engineer. But we are going to do a full program on water, my Straight Talk family. But we thought it would have given us some reflection on the state of our water supply in St. Kitts, which is at crisis point. Let's take this call and get back to that, my Straight Talk family. Hey, caller, you live.
Yes, thanks again. That is, I'm touching geothermal. In respect to the geothermal plans, Mark Brantley said that they could export energy to St. Kitts. In what way, shape, or form? If, and I would like, and I pray upon the geothermal plant, what are the plans to export energy apart from St. Kitts to other nearby countries in the Caribbean? Do they have all that plan in motion? Should that plant become to our life? And if so, I pray upon it again that it's a good thing, because geothermal is natural energy from the earth crust. So saying one thing is easy, but what is the plan on paper to let the Federation know how this energy will be distributed? Thank you.
Thank you, my dear brother. And as we wind down tonight's programming, as I was saying, the other thought that caused me to reflect was on the economic issues that have been brought onto this country, mainly because of the incompetence, lack of integrity, and the lack of a policy direction from our leader, Terence Michael Drew. And when we really look at the cabinet, and we look at the level of experience within that cabinet, wow. Except for Denzel Llewellyn Douglas, who can you turn to as relates to guiding this party?
You can hear me?
Yes, you're live.
Okay. I would like to know, if King Lawyer just go over Cairn or look for that blind guy over there, when he used to run the campaign, every minute he don't want to have the poor guy landing. I wonder if he just go back over there, go look for the guy and try assist him, because the guy assists him a lot. And you want Cairn people them from King Lawyer, you know. But nobody take me on. You see how them are weak, and you want them keep away from King Lawyer. Just the way how he walk, he look, could see, he is barbecue from Haiti. You have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night, my dear. And as we wind down my Straight Dog family, we do apologize for the internet difficulties we have, not with the sound though. But from the day that Terence Michael July assumed high office, it's as if he started to put goat mouth, as we say in colloquial parlance, put goat mouth on the country. when we spoke about the investors that were waiting on a change in government. So many investors waited on the Labour government, he said. But where are those investors, Dr. July? It's nigh 2 years and there's not one investor. Oh yes, I did correct that. There's one investor that made an announcement in January about the groundbreaking ceremony of some 42-room luxury hotel. But be very cautious that these 42 rooms are costing $100 million. And remember, his second big announcement was that the country is in the red. And then we realized he don't understand financial statements or don't understand money, period. Because remember, when he said the country was in the red, after that, he went on Observer Radio and said he had money in the treasury, which he saved for a rainy day. You remember this, my Straight Dog family?
Salary. But PM, where is this coming from? Because here in Antigua and Barbuda, our government has not been able to offer stimulus to Antiguans and Barbudans during COVID, and we keep hearing of all these great initiatives in your country. Have you discovered oil somewhere in Bastia?
I can't say we have discovered oil. Let me say that each country has its own response, but this has been our response. I can't say we don't have oil. Of course, we had some monies put away for a long time now that we would use during a rainy day.
But my Straight Dog family, it's the announcement. It's the veil of secrecy that surrounds this administration, and in particular as it relates to the CBI. Many questions have been asked about the CBI, and then he's always doing some audit. For 2 years, he's been auditing the CBI. What? I wonder which auditors are he using, or is he using? But remember, he said this. He said this just last week.
I want to say that I will make a significant, I will speak on the CBI program within the next month to really share more in-depth information. As we came in, we had to do, of course, our audit and research and to extract the information and to see what we were really dealing with. And so I want to say to the caller that more information and a more comprehensive set of information will be coming very, very soon within the next month.
Information coming very soon. My Street Dog family said within the next month. But I want to leave you tonight with a word of encouragement. I want us as a people and as a Street Dog family to take heed. I want to encourage all of us to consider the dire need as well to control the government. People elect a government. So there's a dire need to elect a government that could be controlled by the people, my Straight Dog family. I mentioned James Madison. He said if men were angels, no government would be necessary. Those guys are not angels. Far from it. They have bungled PAP. They have bungled the peace program. And now they're not only bungling, but destroying the CBI program. Developers are waiting. Developers are not being refunded their money. The program under Terence Michael July has been relegated to the number 4 or 5th position from number 1. And now he has come and he has told us this, my Straight Dog family, And it's frightening. It's frightening my Straight Talk family, because he said this
So
just
there will be
recently.
some rough patches as we go through, because the rough patch is going to come because of the CBI program. The CBI program has taken a hit. I will in the next 2 weeks or so.
CBI program has taken a hit. He'll tell us in the next 2 weeks or so. But Drew and his cabinet have delivered for themselves. My Straight Talk family. They have not delivered for the people. For sure, he has made certain that their fat salary was increased. And it's the taxpayers' money in the government treasury. And as I wind down tonight, I must leave you, my Straight Talk family, with the sad news that we have an administration that has failed to deliver for the country, but they have all delivered for themselves. And all we can point to is a series of failures under July. And I have given you the reasons, I have given you the results. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I'm going to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I'm going to thank you, the many listeners. I want to thank the callers. I want to thank the emailers. And just to remind you that you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patchlibert, and God's spear. We will connect on Monday, yes. We will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, my Straight Talk family, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Have yourselves a good weekend. Go to church, do your chores. But remember in the process that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye until we connect on Monday.
When I wake in the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night, for the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceive, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should. Be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees, to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day. My God,